This is my main computer that I use for gaming, editing, and really just general all-around use. I built this almost 7 years ago on a budget, and along the way I've made a few little upgrades here and there, such as the GTX 980 graphics card. It's got an i7 6700 CPU and 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. It's still honestly a good computer and works well for what I need, but it is starting to show its age. Now, a few months back, I decided to enable ads on my other YouTube channel and make just a bit of extra money on the side. Shortly after that, I thought, hey, why not use that extra money to build myself a new computer? So I started searching around, looking at the different parts, options available today. I wanted to build myself something cool, but I thought I would stay on a budget as I usually do for building myself a PC. As I was looking around though, I started to think, hey, this is just extra money that's being earned on the side, so why not just go all out for once? So I decided to do just that. And the case I decided on for this whole build is the Thermaltake Level 20 XT. So this is a massive E-ATX cube-style case, absolutely covered in glass so that you can see everything inside. And after some experimentation, I found that the best way to remove this from the box is to first tip it down onto its side with one flap folded underneath, then tip it upside down, and with it upside down, pull the box up and off from the case. After that, it can be tipped down onto one of its styrofoam packing blocks, and then the other block can be removed, and the case can be taken out and is then ready to be used. And there it is in all its gigantic glass-covered glory. Now, before I get to doing anything in here, first I just want to take a quick look around and offer some of my thoughts on the case and its design. Now, to start off, this thing is an absolute beast of a case. Even without anything inside, it's already heavier than most high-end gaming systems at 45 pounds. The overall volume of the case is probably about the same as 4, maybe 5 of your standard office PC towers. Now, just for quick comparison, here it is next to the very first gaming computer that I put together back in about 2008. The case is an Apivia Explorer, which is a decent-sized mid-tower. One thing that's been well noted in reviews is that because of the glass panels, the airflow of this case isn't quite as good as what you'll find in others of this size and class. There are plenty of air gaps around the panels though, so you can still get decent airflow to cool a pretty powerful system. Along the bottom, there are dust filters on both sides, but these are only clipped in instead of using pull-out drawers, so cleaning them is kind of difficult because you have to tip the case over. And along the back, you'll find the exhaust fan, vented PCI slots, as well as 2 bays for power supplies, or 1 power supply and 1 more exhaust fan. Now, to get the side panels off, all you have to do is remove 2 thumb screws from the back of each one, and then they either lift off or pull off from the sides. Now, getting inside the case, you really do get an absolutely massive amount of space to build a very powerful system. And getting down to the lower chamber, you have 6 pull-out trays for holding 3.5-inch or 2.5-inch hard drives. Only a single 140mm fan is included for cooling, but this is fine because most people building in this are going to want to use their own fan setups anyway. Now, looking at the other side, you have room for a large power supply, a radiator, and additional fans, or you can reconfigure the setup to your liking to fit your system the best way possible. For the front panel, you have your standard audio, USB-C, 2.0, 3.0, reset button, and power button. Now, as for cooling, after looking around for a while, I decided to use Alphacool's Aurora Lux digital RGB fans. These fans, I think, will have a much more subtle appearance than most of the other RGB fans on the market. The blades are just solid black, and the lighting system is just rings of LEDs around the perimeter as well as on the sides. I'll be using 200, 140, and 120mm fans in the setup. The pair of 200mm fans are, of course, installed in the front of the case. And the front of the case has plenty of ports for feeding wires through so that you can do some good cable management. Now because these are 25 millimeters thick instead of 30 millimeters, they can actually still get decent airflow installed just behind the glass panel of this case. The 140 millimeter fans will be installed to the back for exhaust, and the 120 millimeter fans will be installed to the top of the case, but I won't install those yet because I want to put in radiators first. Just to get an idea of how things would look, I took the case over to my workplace so that I could power up the LEDs, and I think this is already turning out to be an amazing looking case, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how this is going to look when it's all completed and finished. So that's all I have for this video, and I hope you all continue to follow along as I build this computer piece by piece.